Johannesburg at the ungodly hour of 3 a.m. We made good time on the 608-kilometer journey, arriving at Pafuri Gate just after 9 o'clock. Then came the paperwork, the usual faff of forms, permits, and queuing behind someone who's never used a pen before. But finally, we passed through the gates and into what is quite simply the greatest place on earth, the Kruger National Park. In the sweltering, face-melting 41-degree African heat, the sort of temperature that can fry an egg on your forehead, even the baboons, those hardened, furry little hooligans of the bush, had had enough. You know it's hot when even they start looking for a plunge pool. It is a blazing hot day here in the Kruger Park. We've just come in through Pafuri Gate, stopped off at the Pafuri picnic spot and had a bite to eat. It is almost 40 degrees, but awesome to be back in the park again. This is the border between three countries, South Africa, Zimbabwe and Mozambique. So over there we have Mozambique. On this side here across the river we've got Zimbabwe, and behind me over there we've got South Africa. We have arrived at Punda Maria. We've checked in and secured our campsite. It's now 4 o'clock in the afternoon and we are heading out for a quick little game drive. We are doing the Mahoney Loop, which runs around the Punda Maria camp. So hopefully later in the afternoon. It's been an incredibly hot day, 41 degrees earlier. It's now sitting at 37 degrees, so hopefully with it being a little bit cooler and the sun starting to sink low in the sky, we might see something interesting this afternoon. Back at camp, with the sun finally buggering off below the horizon and the mercury dropping from hellfire to just very bloody warm, it was time to do what any sane person does in the bush. Settle in, crack open something cold and light the fire. Good morning. We had a massive storm that rolled through Punda Maria last night, rained through most of the night. The bush really needs it, so it was quite pleasant lying in the tent and listening to the rain and the thunder and the lightning. But this morning we've got a very wet tent and a very wet campsite that we now need to pack up before we head off. Our route today is coming all the way down here to Shingwedzi, so we're going to pop along this route down along the H17 here. We're going to stop off at Babalala for a cup of coffee and a small bite to eat. We'll then head in, check in at Shingwedzi, and then we'll do an afternoon drive today out here towards Red Rocks, and then back to the camp where we will be spending the night. We have stopped off at Babalala picnic spot. We are just having a quick breakfast. We're going to do some scrambled egg wraps, so we're cooking those up, and then from there heading down to Shingwedzi. We passed a couple on the road who have just come up from Shingwedzi. They said that this morning as they were leaving they saw 6 female lion along the river, so we're going to head on down and see if we can find those a little bit later on this morning. Driving along the H17, we've just gone past Babalala and we've just spotted 2 cheetah on the side of the road sitting in the bush. They look like they might have been a mating couple. That's quite a unique sighting. I've certainly never seen cheetah inside of the Kruger National Park before, so that's a first for me. Really, really cool. Arriving at Shingwedzi, it was time to find the lion that we were told about earlier, and we were not to be disappointed. Looks like we might be heading into a bit of a situation here. We've just been warned by a ranger to turn around. We are on the Red Rocks loop. We've just been to Red Rocks and the river is absolutely pumping down. So there's a worry about a flash flood and we're on the wrong side of the river. There's a low level bridge that we need to cross to get back to Shingwedzi. And if we don't make it in time, we're going to be stuck on the wrong side of the river waiting for the flood to subside. So we are heading back now to the low level bridge to see if we can make it across before the flood hits.
It's disappointing.
Oh well, all that drama for nothing. The water level on the river was hardly raised, the low level bridge was not flooded, and it was an easy crossing, so crisis averted. Chicken drumsticks and corn on the cob for dinner tonight. So we've now settled down in Shingwedzi after a very fruitful day out in the park. It's been absolutely stinking hot. It got up to about 39 degrees, so we've swum twice. But now we set up, we've got the fire going, we are about to cook some chicken and corn for dinner and then head off for an early night. It does sound like there's a big thunderstorm coming in, big clouds rolling in, lots of thunder, but hopefully if it does hit us it won't last particularly long. But all in all, a fantastic day. It's starting to look a bit ominous over there, and there's lots of thunder coming in, so I suspect we are going to get some rain tonight. So the storm hit. We've now taken shelter in the car because there's really bad lightning and the ground around us is absolutely flooded. Our chicken's still on the braai outside in the rain, so it's probably either getting washed out or it's going to be burnt to a crisp. But it is nonetheless quite an adventure. It's quite an epic storm that's raging, but it does feel like it is passing over, so hopefully the weather will clear in the next 20 minutes or so. We have resorted to eating our chicken dinner in the car. It is still raining. The storm has passed, but it's incredibly muddy outside and very, very wet. So we are now sitting in the car eating our chicken drumsticks. That turned out far better than I expected. The chicken was actually cooked to perfection, having sat on the braai for about 20 minutes unattended. The storm's passed, it is still raining, very wet outside. We are eating chicken drumsticks with our fingers and having a good time, and now we have a good memory and a funny story to tell. Well, we've decided that it's too wet to do anything, so it is just about 8 o'clock and we are going to bed. So we're leaving Shingwedzi now. That's where we camped for the night. We are on our way down to spend the night at Tsendze, which is just past Mapani. So to get there, we're going to run down along this road here, the S50. It's a dirt road. We're going to stop at Dam at the bird hide over there, and then we'll continue all the way down. When we catch up over there, make our way down, we'll do the Tropic of Capricorn loop there, come down the H1 to Mapani, where we'll check in, and then we're spending the night here at Tsendze. We were going to do the little S135 loop around Shingwedzi camp, over the Shingwedzi river, across the low level causeway, but with all the rains last night the river's flooded, so it's flowing a little bit too fast. They've actually closed off the road, so we're going to turn around, we're going to hit the S50 and make our way down to Mapani. Can you fill up? Can you fill up? Yeah, diesel, please. We've just checked in at Mapani. It is another stinking hot day, sitting at 35 degrees. We've just had a burger and a toasted sandwich out on the deck overlooking Pioneer Dam. We are now heading on down the H1 to Tsendze camp. We are staying on site number 19. Never stayed on that site before, so hoping it's a nice shady one to get us out of the sun. But all in all, it's been a good morning, good drive down from Shingwedzi. So campsite number 19 at Tsendze is actually very pleasant. It's right in the middle of the camp, not on the fence, but close to the ablutions. It's a nice shady site, flat and level, but there's also enough sun on the site to run a solar panel to power whatever electrical goods that you might need. Remember, Tsendze is off-grid, so there is no electricity, so you do need to bring a solar panel or some other kind of power solution. Very nice site, very happy with it, and we're looking forward to a pleasant evening. Hopefully no rain. This is our dinner for tonight. We decided not to make a fire or have a braai, so we're just having some crackers and cheese. We've got 2 pasta salads, some cold ham, and some M&Ms. Bit of a change, but after last night's experience with the rain and trying to braai during a thunderstorm, we decided to keep it simple tonight and just have some snacky things. It is 10 to 5 in the morning. We have just packed up and left Tsendze. We're now on a very early morning game drive, heading down the H1. We're going to go on the S50, S49 Capricorn Loop, and then back to Mooiplaas for a picnic breakfast before we head on down to our next night's stay at Letaba. It is an absolutely beautiful morning. Clear, dry, sun starting to come up on our left. We had no rain at Tsendze last night, so it was fantastic. We went to bed in the dry, we packed up in the dry. So all in all, it was a really great evening at Tsendze camp. Definitely one of my favorites. Just had a lovely male sighting, 3 female lions crossing the road. There was a group of zebra as well, so we are wondering if they're not going to be trying to hunt. So we're just going a little bit further down the road. There's a viewing point that opens up out onto the plain. We are hoping that the lions are going to head along the plain towards where we are going to be waiting. Let's see. We didn't see the lion again. They'd vanished, probably off doing lion things, but we weren't short on entertainment. We spent a peaceful morning driving the S50 and Capricorn Loop, filled with sesame, giraffe, elephant, and the occasional zebra giving us the side eye. Not a bad morning really, not bad at all. So our route today, we spent the night at Tsendze. We've just done this loop here back to Mapani. We now stopped here at Mooiplaas. This is where we saw the lion this morning. And then we're going to be making our way down the H1 all the way here to Letaba. But I think before we check in at Letaba, we're going to do this little loop here, which we've never done. So night 4, spending at Letaba. We are now in Letaba. We have arrived and set up our camp. Found a nice shady spot quite close to the ablutions and near the swimming pool. It's another very, very hot day, about 36 degrees I think it got up to today. Had a nice drive through from Mooiplaas picnic spot. We did see another lion on our way down to Letaba, a young male. He was lounging under a tree trying to get out of the midday heat. When we crossed over the Letaba River, we took the S47 loop past Mingahout Dam, which is quite nice, a route I've never taken before. Didn't see much, I think it was just too late in the day and far too hot. So we arrived here at Letaba at about 1:30, checked in and came set up camp. So now we are just relaxing for the afternoon. We've just been for a swim. Not that it helped much. I think the pool temperature is about 35 degrees, so probably almost as hot as it is outside. And now we're just chilling for the afternoon before we get ourselves sorted and ready for dinner. Letaba is one of my favorite camps here in the Kruger National Park. It's set in this beautiful treed setting. Lots of big trees around, lovely and shady. There's a beautiful pool. Campsite is really nice and neat and clean and tidy. So I do think that for me, Letaba is one of the nicest older camps within the Kruger National Park. Really, really beautiful. So our route today is going to take us down the H1. We're then going to take this little S46 onto the S44, which we're going to follow all the way around the river to Olifants camp, where we will then check in. We are staying here tonight at Balule. So from Olifants, we'll head back on the road, stop at the lookout point, carry on down, and there's a new little loop here called the S147, which we're then going to take up, and we'll come into the back of Balule from that. So that will be our route today. So we've had a very slow day up from, down from Letaba to Olifants. Saw very little, some nice kudu, and that was about it. But it is incredibly hot. It was peaking at about 40 degrees just a few minutes ago, so I think it's far too hot for any of the game to be out and about. We are now at Olifants. We are going to check into our site at Balule for tonight, and then we're going to go sit on the deck and have a toasted sandwich. We've arrived now at Balule. We got here at about 3:30. As you can see behind me, we've set up camp. We are now settled in for the night. We're going to get dinner on the go in about half an hour. We had a long day on the road, traveling down from Letaba. We took our time. It was an incredibly hot day. Temperatures reached up to 41 degrees. As a result, we didn't see a heck of a lot of animal. But after we checked in at Balule and reserved our campsite, we went back out on the road. We travelled down the H1 over the Olifants River down towards Satara. And once the Mapani had stopped and it opened up into more sort of scrub grassland, we did start to see a lot more sort of plains animal, I guess, giraffe, zebra, wildebeest, etc. But for the most part, quite a quiet day. We're hoping for a little bit more excitement tomorrow as we make our way down towards Tsendze and Maroela. Fried onions, potatoes, bacon and boerewors is what we are having for dinner tonight. Good morning. It's just gone 5 a.m. We got up at 4 o'clock this morning, packed up camp and left Balule at about 4:30. We are now on the banks of the Olifant River at the lookout point, and it's turning out to be a glorious day. We've just had a beautiful sunrise, amazing colors in the sky. We're going to head down south today towards Satara and Maroela, where we are spending the night. We are stuck in a Kruger traffic jam. Big herd of buffalo blocking the road. Not sure how long we're going to sit here before we get to pass. We just stopped for a picnic breakfast at Shingwedzi picnic spot, and now we've come down to Swaney Hide to see if there's anything interesting. It is very quiet here, not many people, even less animals. We saw a pod of hippo sleeping in the water, but really other than that there's not much going on here. So now we're going to head down the H6 towards the H1 and then up to Satara and make our way down the H4 towards Tsendze and Maroela. I'm up here at the top of Bobbejaan's Krans on the H7 on the way to Tsendze, and there are 4 lion at the bottom of the cliff with a kill, looks like a wildebeest. But quite a unique sighting, being able to stand outside the vehicle at the top of Bobbejaan's Krans and watch the lions with their kill down at the bottom of the cliff. Had a relatively successful day in the bush today. After seeing the lion on the kill at Bobbejaan's Krans, literally 5 minutes down the road, we found a leopard in the riverbank, in the riverbed should I say, lying up against the bank in the Tsendze River. So that was quite nice. There were 5 or 6 cars who were looking for the leopard. One guy had seen the leopard walking through the riverbed and seen it coming towards the bank. So 5 or 6 different guys were looking for it, never found it. We were lucky enough to find him as we came along. So all in all, a good day. So we've had an absolutely brilliant day in the park today. We left Balule at 4:30 this morning, drove down via Shingwedzi picnic spot to Satara, and then across to Orphan Gate where we checked in at Maroela. Now looking forward to a good afternoon, good evening in camp, and then early start again tomorrow, 4:30, as we drive on south to Skukuza. What an amazing sighting. It's 10 to 5 in the morning. We've just left Maroela camp, and literally 1 kilometer outside of the camp there was a pride of lion on the side of the road. There must have been a good 20 or 30 of them. Plenty of cars around. We didn't get the greatest view to begin with, but then we managed to get round to the front of the queue, and as we did, the pride got up and started walking down the road, and we've just seen 30 lion crossing the road from the one side of the bush into the other. Absolutely brilliant. Quite amazing. I've been to the park so many times and I've honestly never seen cheetah in the Kruger National Park. Now having seen them twice in one trip is really quite special. Just arrived at Malelane picnic spot. We are going to have a bite to eat, some bacon and egg rolls, and then we'll continue heading on south towards Skukuza, where we are spending the night. So this is our campsite in Skukuza. Nice in the shade, very pleasant. We are here for 2 nights. Unfortunately, we will still have to pack up the tent and reset it up again tomorrow when we go on our game drive. But this is our spot for the next 2 days. Good morning out so far. We've had some wild dog, 2 sightings of wild dog, lots of elephant, a couple of buffalo, plenty of baboons, and then the usual zebra, giraffe, wildebeest, etc. But it's been a very pleasant morning. We are on the route down towards Lower Sabi. We've just stopped at Nkuklu picnic spot for a bite to eat before we carry on our adventure. Grey and dreary day as we leave Skukuza at 5:15 in the morning for our last early morning game drive of our trip. Last night it started raining at about 1 o'clock and it hasn't stopped since, so we've just packed up our tents in the rain, got absolutely soaked, everything is wet, everything is damp, so we are going to have to unpack it all when we get home to dry it out. But for now we are on an early drive. We are going to see what we can see even in the pouring rain. We are approaching the end of our trip, coming up on Malelane Gate. All in all, it's been a fantastic week in the park, having come in at Pafuri Gate 8 days ago, slowly making our way down south. We stopped off at all the major camps on the way down. We've had some amazing sightings, 5 or 6 separate lion sightings, 2 separate cheetah sightings, 2 separate leopard sightings. We had 2 groups of wild dog yesterday, and loads of different antelope, elephant, giraffe, hippo, etc. So it really has been a fantastic trip. Weather-wise, not too bad, mostly hot and sunny. We did have a little bit of rain. We had more rain last night in Skukuza, which meant that we had to set up or break up our camp in the wet. So when we get home, we are going to have to unpack everything and put it out to dry. But as always, being in the park is an absolute pleasure. We've had a wonderful time, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. We will see you in the next one. Cheers.